Hey guys, and welcome back to Chiro Connect TV. I'm your host Dave Moore, and this week we're going to be continuing our series on subluxation. We talked about how last week when you have spinal subluxation, it interferes with your nervous system's ability to carry out its function, and you can't be healthy with a subluxated spine and nervous system. Well, this week we're going to talk about what's involved in a subluxation. And here I have my spine, and there's three tissues that are important when we're talking about subluxation. One is bone, the second is muscle, and the third is nerve. And here you can see these are the spinal bones or vertebrae, 24 of them, and they're held together, and bones really can't do anything by themselves. Bones will kind of just sit there. They're inanimate tissue. What has to happen is muscles have to move bone. And what muscles do two things. They either contract or relax. But if you put them or attach them to certain parts of bone, when they do contract, they'll move the bone, right? So muscles move the bone by contracting or relaxing. Well, what tells the muscle what to do? Well, the most important system in the body is the nervous system, and the nerves tell the muscle what to do. A muscle could do nothing without nerve supply. Well, you might think, you know, Doc, my problem, I've got a tight muscle, and if you just rubbed out the muscle, I'd feel better. It must be the muscle that's causing the problem. Well, let me tell you something. If I took a scissor and I clipped the nerve that went to that muscle, no matter how tight it is, it would just automatically relax. It would become a London Royal. So a muscle could do nothing without nerve supply. So what happens here? In a subluxation, a nerve tells a muscle to contract, and it moves a bone out of place. And when a bone comes out of place, it puts pressure on these nerves, these very delicate nerves. It doesn't take a lot of pressure to affect nerve function. Studies show that it only takes the weight of a dime. So what would happen if you had a subluxation with pressure on a nerve and it was there for a long time, or even a short time? The communication between that nerve and wherever that nerve goes, and say here at T5, we know it goes to your stomach. Well, if that subluxation was putting pressure on the nerve going to your stomach could not be healthy. So remember, chiropractic looks for subluxations in the spine and removes the subluxation through chiropractic adjustments. Well, that's the tissues involved in subluxation, and a little bit more information on that. Again, we're going to continue on. As a matter of fact, next week we're going to talk about the breakdown in communication that occurs with subluxation, and when there's breakdown in communication, there becomes breakdown in function, just like we saw with the stomach there. We're going to dive deeper into that next week here on Chiro Connect TV. We'll see you then.